Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're going to be discussing U.S. visa applications, specifically issues associated with IRS tax transcripts, or more appropriately, the lack thereof. When are we going to be discussing, or when does this pop up? And I do understand that this video is quite narrow with respect to the scope of the discussion that it's undertaking with respect to U.S. immigration. But strangely enough, at least here in Thailand, we see this issue come up a lot. Frequently, there are a number of petitioners for American visa benefits for a Thai fiance or spouse who primarily live on their Social Security and perhaps assets that they've accumulated over their lifetime, essentially retirees. Those folks oftentimes, depending on their financial situation, if they're only collecting Social Security benefits, they may not be required to file tax returns in the United States or with the IRS, notwithstanding the fact they live abroad. Many Americans still need to file tax returns, but in the cases involving those who are primarily deriving most of their annual income off of Social Security, it may not be required that they file a tax return. This may also be the same for those who are on a public pension, folks who work for governments back in the United States who are on a pension scheme and basically they don't need to file tax returns. Again, this is very circumstantially dependent, but it does happen, and not infrequently, at least in the context of Thailand. So oftentimes what we'll see is a 221G, which is a request for further documentation in association with a U.S. visa application. And one of the things they'll ask for is what's called a non-filing letter. And what this basically is it's a letter that says, it's from the IRS that says, look, this individual hasn't filed taxes for a given year. It's kind of a strange thing to request because, simply saying, look, I didn't file taxes is not sufficient in most cases. The U.S. Embassy wants to fulfill all the formalities associated with the application for the U.S. visa, so they request that the petitioner, the one who's filling out an I-864 affidavit of support, and they may actually have a joint sponsor. Even if they do have a joint sponsor, they still want to go ahead and see that that individual has a non-filing letter, a letter from the IRS that says they didn't file their taxes. Again, I think that in a way this is something akin to like an exercise in ticking the boxes, but it's something that's required, and it is something that oftentimes can cause rather slight delays with respect to final processing of a visa application because the consular officer adjudicating the case wants to see a non-filing letter.